All right, today I started off with a trip to Harbor Freight to get my 5 items that are under $9.99 or $10 for 30% off. Then I hit a garage sale. I got some cool items to share with you. And now I'm gonna finish up the day working on this rolling Craftsman toolbox that I recently picked up. I'll put the link in the video. I picked it up not too long ago, paid $40 for the top and bottom. And when I picked up this bottom, I was originally going to use it for a drill press stand, but now I have this bench here that it will slide nice and neatly under, so I need to put some casters on it, and that's what I picked up today from Harbor Freight, as well as that sliding draw. So let's jump into this video. When they have these 30% off sales at Harbor Freight, it's a great time to stock up on a lot of these consumable items. And I'll show you a couple of my favorites that I usually pick up. Like I said, I don't buy a lot of tools from Harbor Freight. I will from time to time if there's something that I need that I don't use often, or quality isn't really that important to me. If you hear that bang, those are acorns coming down and hitting my gutters right outside the garage here. But I do buy a lot of consumables from Harbor Freight for the most part. And these are some ones that I picked up recently, the last time as well as today that they ran the 30% off. And this is the sanding belt cleaner. This is great to take the wood off of a sanding belt. You just kind of run it on there. I've yet to use it yet, but I hear that that's a great thing to preserve your belts. And then paint, right? You can't go wrong. They carry a full line of Rust-Oleum. They carry a full line of clear coat, as well as a lot of the black paints and so forth. Can't go wrong with that. Super Lube, 30% off the last time. I always keep an extra one of those, as well as caulk, silicone, things like that. When they have 30% off, can't beat it. And this is actually a Harbor Freight item, and this is called a caulk saver. And it just screws in to the caulk, and I bought a bunch of these, and I have a bunch of them on hand, and they really are handy, and they save the life of your products, which is great. Then you could always get the shrink tubing. This is the long ones that I like to use to repair wires when doing restorations. And then they have that whole section of the O-rings, nuts, bolts, grommets, and those are a great time to stock up when they're on sale. And then for the project that I'm working on today, which is just getting this toolbox up and running, I got some draw liners to get in there. So this is usually $6.99, and it was 30% off. And I picked up these casters. I think these are usually $4.50 or something like that, and these were 30% off. I bought 4 of them, but I'm going to try to only use 2 of them because they don't lock. So those are some items I bought today. I would love for people to let me know, what are some of your favorite items when they run the 30% off, $10 or under. So let's jump into the rest of the video. So what I did a couple weeks ago is I took every drawer out of this and wiped them down, cleaned them 100%, oiled it, put it all back together. And it took me probably 2 nights and several hours. But that's what I did to really just clean it out. Had it upside down, sideways. I'll show you some pictures of the other sides. But then after it was completely clean, what I did was I just took one of these random orbital sanders like this, or buffers I should say, and I just kept putting pads on it and using a compound, and it just, you could see, it just took all the dirt off, and it took a long time, and it was filthy. And then little by little, then I would, after it was clean, I would use just some wax, and you could see how the paint really came off, all that dead paint, especially around the sides. You'll see the color really came out. And the wax I used was the new finish, and this is just a compound that I use. So it's got 2 to 3 coats of wax depending, and you could feel it on there. And the purpose of this isn't a full restoration, but just to really put it back in service. And then if you remember, not too long ago, I picked this tabletop up at a yard sale, or actually an estate sale, and I basically paid nothing for it, $1 or $2. I'm going to have to get the table saw out of the basement, rip that, put it in there, and throw the new casters on. So let's keep moving along. You can see with those casters, they don't swivel all 4. I would have to drag it out from under the workbench. So with these swivels, it should go in and out real easy. And there you can just see the paint came out pretty nice. Good enough for me with the compound and wax. First thing I had to do was break down some of those supports on the tabletop and then just measuring it up. Really did not want to screw this up, so measured it several times. Really had to get that inside diameter. It had to be perfect, so it wouldn't wiggle around too much when done. And then just set that rip guide and went nice and slow, and I was able to rip the back end, and then the two sides came off pretty easy, and there it is, fit right in there. All right, we are at the trunk of my car to see what I got at the garage sale, or also known as the car boot, depending on the side of the pond that you reside. And everybody got a little something today. So picked up a baseball glove, leather, used obviously, but these are great. These old Rawlings, you can't beat these. It's an expensive glove. They're all leather. Nowadays they use all sorts of other stuff in it besides leather, and there is some leather, but it's more of a shell. What I will do is use some olive oil on this, and it'll recondition it, and that's a great trick for any leather products. Olive oil will restore it very well. Picked up some torch fuel. You can't beat that. I use that all the time. And a nice chainsaw. Look at that, 14-inch, 2.5 horsepower. Looks like it's barely used, so really nice. Picked this up for the wife. This is for opening bottles of wine. Looks like it was never used. You put the bottle in there and you pop it open. She had always wanted one of these, so I'm excited to give her that. And then the final thing I got in here is an iron gym, and this is a gift for the brother-in-law. He really likes the iron gyms. I bought him one several years ago, and he's completely worn out all of the padding on it, so I picked him up another one, and he'll get that the next time I see him. So everything in here, $15. Now let's get that toolbox back up and running. Pull the bottom drawer out to get access to those casters, and I had to remove the top two. And to do that, I used these SK 1/4-inch swivels, which were just perfect for getting around those tight little bolts. The swivel let me get right in there and blast them out. And of course, I've lost one, so having the Harbor Freight extra nut assortment came in handy. And there it is, complete. I only used 2 of them. The other 2 I'm going to leave the originals because they lock, and I'll return 2 and save a couple bucks and pick up some more items for 30% off. All right, guys, there it is, complete. Put the tray on, put a piece of tray liner on top of it, and there is the top, fitting really nice and tight. And this tray went on pretty easy. There it is. I used the 30% off all US General tools, so it came in about $17 with the coupon, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And all I had to do was drill a hole into the side of the toolbox, and it just went in with a nut and bolt. So now let's see with the casters how this thing could swing right into position. All right, so this tray just drops down, and what I did do is put a little dab of silicone in each corner, so that way it won't fall off when it's down. And look how nice and easy now. I could never do this before. Goes right into position, and when I want to use it, comes right out, lock the front caster, put the side up if I need to, and it's a done project. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed looking a little bit at this toolbox and seeing some of the things I did with it. If you haven't been over to Harbor Freight yet, get over there, get you 30% off. They run it all the time if you can't get over there this weekend. As well as hopefully you enjoyed seeing the stuff I got from the garage sale. So guys, please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.